Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an afternoon edition of Inclusion Matters podcast with Inclusion Pro Wrestling. Today is yet another first because it's yet another birthday of our guest. This isn't the first time we've celebrated a birthday with a guest, but it's not going to be the last either. But anyways, I'm the heartbreaker. To my side on the top is a man in a bright orange shirt because he doesn't think he's being able to be seen enough, obviously, so he's got to wear a fluorescent shirt just to outdo his co-host and his guest, because that's just him. I mean, he doesn't even have enough class to pick a real fucking champion, ladies and gentlemen. His champion, the orange juice loving Orange Cassidy, finally got what was coming to him and got his ass handed to him by a true champion, and I mean true international champion, in Jon Moxley. Congratulations, Mr. Moxley, for upsetting, or not really even upsetting Mr. Orange Juice, because everybody knew Orange Juice was going to get what was coming to him. And best friends and everybody else that's associated with Orange Juice, you're next. But enough about the bantering back and forth between the host and the co-host. Mr. Venom, welcome to our podcast. And again, thank you for sharing your birthday with us. Tell us about yourself, and we'll get this interview started.
Greetings. I just turned 37. I'm from Alabama. Right now, I'm doing a show in Tennessee, in Holdenwald, Tennessee, called New Revolution Wrestling. I've been in and around wrestling my whole life. It's all I've ever wanted to do.
We can relate to that.
Shut up, Messiah. It's not about you. Now ask your damn question.
So, before I ask your question, can I rebuttal your opening statement?
No, we don't have time for that today. It's a holiday. I get paid by the minute.
Well, if it's a holiday and you get paid by the minute, wouldn't you want me to talk because you get paid double?
Shut up and just ask your damn question. I don't want to hear paint dry today.
So who were some of your wrestling heroes growing up?
My all-time favorite is Rey Mysterio. Shawn Michaels, Juventud Guerrera, Eddie Guerrero, and like Sean Waltman, some of the smaller guys, because I've always been small, so it just resonated with me that someone my size could do this.
Very awesome.
So before I ask a question, you said you're a smaller guy. Do you wrestle with your hands in your pockets?
Jesus.
No.
Good. Then can you tell me your top 5 male wrestlers of all time?
Like I said, just Rey Mysterio's number one, of course. Shawn Michaels, Juventud Guerrera, Sean Waltman, and Eddie Guerrero.
Some small guys we can actually respect that actually don't wrestle with their hands in their pockets.
Okay, I have to say this. You tell me that I'm the biggest Orange Cassidy fan, but if you go back and watch the podcast, the only thing I've ever said about Orange Cassidy's name are 2 or 3 words. You're the one that talks about Orange Cassidy every time to diss me about what I like. So are you truly a closet Orange Cassidy fan? You're reflecting it back on me.
I don't like Orange Cassidy because he wrestles with his hands in his pockets. I mean, why does he have to put his hands in his pockets? Is he really playing with something down there? Or does he even have anything down there at all?
Family show.
Ask your question, Messiah.
So, playing such an iconic Marvel character like Venom was, what went into that? Is there Like, was it just your favorite Marvel character?
It's actually a character I came up with as a kid, but I just added like the Masked Avenger onto it, so it's not just Venom.
Got ya.
As on my shirts, it's the Masked Avenger Venom on my shirts.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Well, let's talk tag team wrestling. Let's go top 5 tag team of all time, in your opinion.
My number one when I was a kid was the Rockers. Rock and Roll Express, Stars and Stripes,
Ooh.
Harlem Heat, and the Road Warriors.
Very good list.
Very good list. And Messiah, you could learn something from him because none of those were actually best friends.
You're like a dog with a bone, aren't you? Top 5 female wrestlers of all time.
Number one would have to be Lita. Trish Stratus, Jacqueline, say Tori Wilson, and maybe Stacy Keibler.
See, this man knows. I like that list.
And you know what that list has in common? None of them dated Orange Cassidy.
I knew it was going to be something about Orange Cassidy. Are you craving orange juice right now? Is that what?
No, I'm just glad that he lost. So it's going to be an Orange Cassidy diss day. So just be aware of that. So in your opinion, who's the best wrestler turned actor?
Well, it ain't Orange Cassidy.
Probably The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Very nice.
Okay, I won't diss that one. So go ahead, Messiah.
So, how would you describe your wrestling style?
Sort of old school mixed with a little aerial, high flying stuff.
Very good. I can kind of see that.
So for your little pea brain there, Messiah, it's everything that Orange Cassidy wants to do minus the hands in his pocket.
Why don't we just put Orange Cassidy's picture somewhere in this podcast?
So what is your pre and your post match routine?
I stretch before each match, and I just watch other matches during the show to try and get better and to make sure I'm not repeating something somebody else has already done.
Right. That's very important, actually. And that's something that a lot of people don't think of. You know, like you said, you don't want to go out there and repeat something that somebody's already seen.
Right.
So what's the craziest match you've ever been in?
I've had a Falls Count Anywhere match. Well, actually, the craziest was probably the barbed wire match I had in Sneed.
Ouch.
Yeah, I got a scar on my hand. I don't know if you can see it, but it's from a steel chair wrapped in barbed wire. That was under a different name, though.
You see, you asked your question so fast, I couldn't rebuttal to that. You know, I hate people stealing finishing moves. That's another reason I hate Orange Cassidy, because he can't even come up with his original finishing move. He has to steal the Superman punch from Roman Reigns.
I'm so sorry. He's going to help for his addiction to Orange Cassidy.
I mean, I won't even diss him no more. It's not even fun anymore. I mean, at least he got paradigm shift back into hell. So I mean, maybe now he'll actually come out of the closet and actually come up with his own move set. But
so I thought they were in Chicago, not Michigan.
But anyways, moving on. What advice would you give to an up-and-coming wrestler or an up-and-coming promotion?
A wrestler, first thing, find a good training school. Get properly trained, first of all. And upcoming promotion, just the main thing is promoting. Flyers, promos. You've got to keep on it, or your show won't succeed.
I completely agree with that. If you had a dream tag team partner, a dream opponent, which one would it be from any generation, any promotion? Which one would it be and why?
My dream match of all time would be against Rey Mysterio.
Ooh, sign me up to watch that one.
We all know the Messiah's dream match, but I won't speak his name. Although that'd probably be the only time I'd root for him, because the Messiah deserves to lose everything.
If I knew this was going to be an Orange Cassidy love fest, we could have just put a tape recorder up in the right corner with the Orange Cassidy after every sentence.
It's not a love affair, dude. It's a victory speech for Jon Moxley. Speaking of that, in your personal opinion, who are the 5 most underrated wrestlers in the business today?
I don't really watch much of today's wrestling. I like the old stuff, but I know Tatanka was a very underrated wrestler. Owen Hart, I always thought he was a lot better than Brett. That's all I can really think of off the top of my head.
I agree with both of those. So I thought Owen should have been the heavyweight champion. Like, I think that's the biggest miscarriage in wrestling from like the olden days, is that he never got a run with the heavyweight championship.
Right.
So top 5 indie male wrestlers. Yeah, top 5 indie male wrestlers.
Myself, of course.
I love that answer.
I'd have to say Aiden Miles. Probably I blanked. Anyway, what's his name? I went blank. Tyrese Murphy. I could answer if I was thinking about it.
As soon as you get off the podcast, they're all gonna flood right back into your head.
Right, right. But those are two of the top ones that are really
Well,
good.
Right.
got ya.
All right, I'm going to break out a principal tap-ass question. Seems how he wasn't even man enough to show up to his own damn podcast today. Yeah, and he has to
The
have
man
his
had to
producer.
work.
He had to have his producer do his job for him. So, Mr. Tapass, you know, whatever your lazy excuse is, my man, you owe me. So, I tell the story like this. The host up there, Mr. Messiah, he likes to get his sticky fingers in peanut butter because anything with peanut butter is his favorite snack. Or, you know, so to that question, what is your favorite snack or cookie?
Reese's.
Ooh, yeah.
Love Reese's.
That's good. But you're probably not as sticky fingered as our illustrious host is, you know. I mean,
Well, I don't dip my hand in the peanut butter jar, so.
you see, he would, you know, he likes to make a mess out of everything.
Not everything. A few things.
You forget, I have seen you eat.
Well, that goes both ways. Thank you.
Well, they do say it's only good if it's messy, so.
See, thank you. That's what I'm saying. If you could book a WrestleMania, a dream WrestleMania card from any generation, all promotions are open, including indies. 6 matches. Who would be in it?
6 matches. I like the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker matches, so I'd book that one.
Okay.
Um, maybe Andre and the Big Show.
Ooh,
Um, Road Warriors and Harlem Heat would be a good match.
nice.
Go maybe Billy Kidman and Sean Waltman as X-Pac.
Nice.
And me and Rey Mysterio. And go with Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon again.
Ooh, nice. I like that one.
Mm. Okay, let's see here. Let's go top 5 managers of all time.
Jimmy Hart, of course, Mouth of the South. Uh, Bobby Heenan was good. Uh, maybe Paulie Dangerously. Hmm. Mr. Fuji. And maybe Harvey Whippleman.
Good list. Top 5 masked wrestlers of all time.
Rey Mysterio, of course. Psychosis. La Parka. Juventud when he wore a mask. Yeah, that's about all I can think of.
Sound good. All right, Heartbreaker, if you can stop looking at pictures of Orange Cassidy on your phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to design our title belts for our promotion, but okay. I mean, if you really want me to ask a question, then how about we do? Yeah, how about we do this one? Top 5 indie female wrestlers.
I don't really know a lot of indie female wrestlers. There's one. I can't remember her name though. She used to go by Trixie, but she had a change. She's fixing to be going overseas to the UK to wrestle.
Wow.
Thought that was pretty cool.
So, if you could wrestle in any of the 4 major promotions, being WWE, Impact, AEW, or New Japan, and we'll even throw Mexico in there, which one would you go to and why?
Probably either New Japan or Mexico just to learn a new style and get more experience.
Got ya.
What is your opinion of putting a heavyweight championship on a woman?
I mean, most promotions have their own women's title, but I mean, if there's only the heavyweight and no women's division title, then yeah, I mean, I don't see why it would be a problem.
That's a good answer. So how did your finisher come to be?
My finisher,
Yeah.
I started in CWE when I was 25, and I've just always admired Shawn Michaels and loved the way he did his moonsaults. So my finisher became a moonsault because it's rarely done anymore. So
Got ya.
something different and kind of old school.
So I saw some of your footage, and you have a very cool entrance. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Um, yeah, I just like the chorus to Venom, so that's my entrance song. I just try and get the crowd pumped up, just try and fire them up.
Well, you do a good job at it.
Thank you, thank you.
Um, so speaking of the crowd, what's the craziest? I asked what the craziest match was, but what's the craziest crowd that you've ever wrestled in front of?
Um, Probably when I first started, is a small crowd, but they were rowdy. The CWE fans.
Got
One of our referees' mom always tried to hit me with her cane. I was a heel back then, so
okay, that sets up another good question. What do you prefer to be, a heel or a face?
I like being the hero.
Got ya.
You know, the mom chasing somebody or hitting him with a cane reminds me of a story.
Okay. Oh, yes, I know this story.
No, it's nothing about the other guy. It's a story about our booker's mom and a heel manager. You know the story, don't you, Messiah?
Yes, I know this story. I actually like this story.
I guess he irritated her so much one day that she has a motorized scooter. She chased him to the back and pinned him in the locker room with her scooter against the door and wouldn't let him out.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a funny little story, but go ahead, Messiah. Sorry, I didn't mean to break up your little love.
Do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to butt in and say that, but go ahead and ask another question, then I'll continue in a minute.
So top 5 factions of all time.
NWO Wolfpack, DX, um, keep going blank here.
It's all right. We got time.
Um, I guess Bullet Club. I'll give you one from today's indie scene, next of kin.
Got ya.
Um, and the LWO.
Nice. What's the wildest thing you've ever seen, either at a show or that you were wrestling at or that you attended?
Probably when I saw the Dwarfenators in Huntsville, they shoved one of the wrestlers' face into this girl's boobs. So That was pretty funny. And then he chopped him and he fell on her and it was wild.
Well, I hope he bought her dinner after all that. I mean, kind of seems like they were a little bit close after all that.
At
So,
least give her a free picture and a signature or something.
yeah, you would think. And- all right, Heartbreaker, you got a question?
Actually, who was the okay? So, who was the last person to give you advice on your wrestling skills, and do you still follow that advice today?
Aiden Miles, and yeah, I do. Um, he's been very helpful in my career. Uh, he's always watching and trying to help me get better. And he's been in the business since he was a kid, so I I'm very honored that he would take the time to help me.
Absolutely. Um, so what's the worst injury you've sustained in your career?
I had 12 stitches in my chin
Wow,
from hitting the ring post.
yikes.
They had to hold my chin down while they stitched it back together.
Ew.
Ugh,
Ew.
ouch.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I finished the match though. I've never not finished a match.
Well, kudos to you for that. I don't know a lot of people that would have had, that bad of a cut on their in their chin and been able to do that because that thing probably bled like crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty gruesome. Went home sooner than I'd like to, but
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, I'm gonna revert to another one of Principal Tapass's questions since he's not here to ask his damn questions. Again,
Again, the man
again,
had to
Tap,
work.
again, Tap. No excuses for you missing today. This is your job, my brother. Your job. So his question is, what is your favorite moment from WrestleMania 3?
probably when Hogan slammed Andre.
Yep. Um,
That,
yeah, that was a great moment.
yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Um, so what's the hardest thing about wrestling in a mask?
Um, you can't show emotion. They can't see your face, so your facial expressions are non void.
Got you. But to me, that just shows how creative you are. Because if you can still get a reaction without them being able to see your face, then you must be doing something right.
Right, right.
You know, I often wonder if a mask would help the crippled Messiah because at least we wouldn't have to see his fat forehead.
But then you would cover up all the rest of this. That's why I wore this bright shirt. Draw attention to the thing that everybody wants to see.
I think you'd be a lot better in a mask. Then nobody has to deal with your ugliness.
Just drink your orange juice and be happy.
It's not orange juice today, my man. And besides that, he's a loser.
say you got a question? Or are you gonna fantasize about orange juice some more?
No, I was talking about your protruding head and your receding hairline. You're just like I haven't said you're paint drying yet. But go ahead and ask a question.
Let's see. If you had a dream tag team partner, who would it be and why?
Again, it would have to be Rey Mysterio, just to be able to work with him and two small guys on a team together. I mean, when I started in CWE, my buddy Robert Knight and I were the two smallest guys there and ended up winning the tag team championships. So,
Nice.
Hmm.
I can
So-
see your guys' tandem finisher too. It could be the 619 into your moonsault. You know, you got 5 seconds before.
right, that would be pretty cool.
So, after it's all said and done, what mark would you like to leave on the wrestling industry?
Just to be remembered as one of the best, and hopefully I help someone along the way, maybe impact their life in some way. I've been through a lot in my life, and I've came a long way from the person I used to be, so if I can help someone else in that way, it's worth it.
Absolutely. If you have one, what's your favorite wrestling movie?
Wrestling movie, probably The Wrestler.
Ooh, good choice.
I like the show Hills too.
Yes, it's a very good show. I like that one as well.
Okay, so I just had one. What are your future goals for yourself in wrestling?
I would like to win a world title at any promotion. That's one thing that has eluded me thus far. I've won almost every other title, but the world title's always been a dream.
Got you. If you could create a dream faction with yourself as the leader, who would be in it?
I'm sorry.
If you could create a dream faction with yourself as a leader, who would be in it?
Probably Shawn Michaels, maybe Triple H, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. So the Click, of course, and maybe add someone like, I don't know, maybe throw Ray in there, of course.
Wow, that's a nasty faction. It'd be hard to find anybody that would beat that faction, actually. All right, Heartbreaker, what do you got?
So, in your career, what would you say your best match of your career was so far, and who was it against?
It'd probably be a recent match. My first match at New Revolution against Aiden Miles.
Very nice. So maybe this plays a little bit into that one, but who were some of your biggest rivals in your career so far?
Me and Phoenix had a pretty good career rivalry in CWE. TJ Shambly or Golden, whatever he went by. God rest his soul. He was one of my favorite rivalries. We had a lot of pretty nasty matches, so I guess when I was in a faction at CWE called the Young Guns, and a different promotion had a tag team called the Young Guns, we ended up having a rivalry. So that was pretty cool.
Very nice.
I actually took a Canadian destroyer off the top turnbuckle in that match.
Oh,
Wow.
yikes.
So, yeah, it was pretty nasty.
So I have a question to that. How tall are you now after taking that Canadian destroyer off the top rope? Because I had to like compress everything.
Well, haven't checked, but I used to be 5'6".
So, how much training do you do weekly?
I work out and exercise and do DDPY. That's about as much as I do. I used to have membership at Planet Fitness, but got to where I couldn't afford it, so I just do what I call country boy workouts and do heavy lifting around the house.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. It seems to be working. So.
And there's nothing wrong. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with DDP yoga. You know, I mean that is very awesome.
Oh yeah, it helps a lot.
All right, you Orange Juice loving, Orange Cassidy loving freak. What's your question?
Again, with his obsession with Orange Cassidy. Of course, DDP yoga doesn't have a disabled section. I actually called and checked once. But that's for another day. So what was your first thought, like, after your first day of training? You know, what was the first thing you thought?
The ring's not as soft as I thought. It's definitely not a trampoline.
That is true.
It does take a toll on the body.
That is true. So
you got to be at least a little crazy to do what we do.
Absolutely.
No sane person would throw themselves at the ground for the entertainment of others.
You have a point.
Very true. Okay, so where can your fans or bookers or promoters find you on social media? And when are your next set of matches?
You can find me at Joseph Bearden on Facebook. And my next show will be September 16th at New Revolution Wrestling Presents Cage Consequences in Holdenwald, Tennessee.
Very nice. I have a new question that just popped into my head. So
Oh
what
God,
was
is
the
it
match?
about?
No, it's not about your boyfriend, Orange Cassidy.
I was gonna say, is it about paint drying?
No. So what was the match that made you fall in love with pro wrestling, if there was one?
I'd have to say probably the first time I saw Rey Mysterio and Juventud wrestle each other.
I can see that.
Or possibly when Rey Mysterio beat Kevin Nash.
Yeah, I
could see
think that
that.
one surprised everybody. Sure surprised me.
All right, that was such a good question, Messiah. I'll allow you another. And the paint drying begins.
I'll just go back and look at pictures of glasses of orange juice. Besides wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies?
I'm trying to learn to play guitar, actually. It's something I've always wanted to do. I love music. So yeah.
Very nice.
In school, I played softball and basketball.
Got ya.
Very cool. Okay, let's see here. Okay, here we go. Top 5. Again, this is a principal tap question. So again, I guess I gotta do his lifting for him. Top 5 heels of all time.
Number 1 would have to be Ric Flair, of course. Lex Luger was pretty good as a heel. Money Incorporated. Eddie Guerrero when he was a heel.
Nope.
That's the.
I guess I'll go with Vince McMahon.
Good choice.
Very good choice.
So this one's another new one, but if you can't come up with all 5, it's fine, because this one might be a little bit difficult. Top 5 best manager wrestler combinations.
Can't really think of any of those.
Got it.
That is a hard one.
All right, Heartbreaker, what do you got?
I kind of like Principal Tap's answer question to this too. Top 5 big men of all time.
Andre, of course. Bam Bam Bigelow, Vader, Undertaker and Kane, and The Big Show.
Very nice. I don't think we've asked this one, and if we do, just let me know. Top 5 commentary teams of all time.
I probably only got like two, but Jim Ross and Jerry King Lawler. Vince McMahon and Macho Man Randy Savage. And I guess Randy Savage, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Jim Ross.
There you go. That was a good one.
Again, that was such a good question there, Messiah. It didn't even sound like paint drying. Go ahead and ask another one.
Favorite tag team match of all time?
It'd probably be the Road Warriors against the Steiner brothers.
Nice.
Okay, so not a question, but we're going to take a break real quick, and we're going to run through our sponsor list since our Messiah forgets to do that every time. So allow me, the heartbreaker, the cute one of the bunch, and the one that women really run to thank our sponsors.
Only if they like Baby Huey.
We'd like to thank Kevin Watson and American Family Insurance. We'd like to thank Precision Power Washing. We'd like to thank Doty Gallery Tattoo. And hey, Messiah, Smalls sent you, by the way. We'd like to thank North American Tarp, and they'd also like to tell you that their products are rugged made, something Messiah never knows about. We'd like to thank Kathy's Clutters and Event Center. Again, something Messiah would never know about is an event center. We'd like to thank El Ranchero's Mexican Restaurant.
Know how that would work.
We'd like to thank El Ranchero's Mexican Restaurant. Again, Messiah. We'd like to thank Bruce Nichols Painting. Maybe I can have him come and paint an X on your forehead to be the real world champion. Unfortunately, he's gone from wrestling forever now, and I think that's a travesty. We'd like to thank another great restaurant here in Longview, Kelso, Bruno's Pizza, who I guess if it wasn't for the Messiah, wouldn't have sponsored us. So thank you, Bruno's Pizza, even though he's got a big forehead. We'd like to thank Burgerville of Longview, Kelso, and of course the CARE program, who again, without the CARE program, this podcast and promotion would not be anything. So we'd like to thank our sponsors again. And now back to Mr. Drip Drip, Paint Dry, Orange Cassidy loving Messiah.
Well, thank you for calling Mr. Drip Drip, because the last time that was used in a wrestling context was with John Morrison, and I have no problem being compared to him. If somebody made a superhero movie of your character, who would be your villain? Who would you have play the villain?
Probably the guy I'll be taking on September 16th, Hugo Frankenstein. He also wears a mask. A lot. It's like an evil jack-o'-lantern head type mask. So yeah, I think he would be a good villain.
All right, Heartbreaker, what do you got?
I don't know. I'm all questioned out, Messiah. Why don't you finish this interview off if you can, or maybe you want to just dream of paint drying.
If you have one favorite video game, and that'll be my last question.
My favorite one at the moment is WWE 2K13.
Nice. Going a little bit old school on that one. I like that.
Okay, so is there anything you'd like to promote to our viewers or anything while you've got a couple of free minutes?
Just my shirts. I have shirts for sale. They're $20 each for adults, 15 for youth. So get your Masked Avenger shirts.
Got ya.
Where can we find them?
You can message me on my Facebook, or I'll be at New Revolution Wrestling September 16th in Hohenwald, Tennessee. You can find me there.
Alrighty. Well, I guess if the Messiah is all questioned out, we'd like to thank you for spending a little bit of time
I
with
thought
us.
of one more quick one. Have you ever thought about wrestling in Washington State?
I would like to wrestle anywhere I get an opportunity to.
Kind of glad you answered that question that way, because as it says down on the banner, we also have a promotion that we're actually getting ready to start on November 25th. And I think for like a future show, your character would get over like gangbusters down here. Would you think so, Heartbreaker?
Anything to shamelessly plug your promotion, you know that? This is supposed to be about a podcast right now, and you're shamelessly plugging your promotion.
I see the talent in this man. He would do wonderful things in the state of Washington.
Yes, I agree. You do wonderful things in the state of Washington.
I'm sure we could work that one out.
Sounds good.
So, but no, I mean, Inclusion Pro Wrestling is, a dream of the Messiah. As much as I pitch him shit for loving Orange Cassidy and everything, he is a very, very bright man. It's taken him 20
Very bright shirt.
Yeah,
with a bright shirt. You can't forget that. Yes. It's taken him 20 years, but he's actually finally afforded enough money. I don't know. I think he stole most of it from another promoter up here and took dirty money to buy the promotion. But whatever it takes, I guess, for him to sleep well at night. But I'm proud of him for this, and he's right. We would be honored to have him to have you in our promotion as well. So
I look forward to it.
We'll keep in touch for sure. But again, we want to thank you for taking an hour out of your busy day, especially on a holiday and your birthday. So we thank you.
And again, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Again, we thank you. And so for Principal Tapp, who must have put himself in detention today because he no-showed the podcast, for the illustrious bright shirt, orange-loving, Orange Cassidy freak that loves to talk smack, and really one of these days I can't wait for the other promoter of our show to come and bitch slap him with a kendo stick.
She's not gonna hit me with a kendo stick. Her arms won't even be big enough to swing the thing. We covered this last night.
And then you talk so much crap that you've got yourself another wrestler in our promotion coming to hit you with a kendo stick. So
I'm scared.
So we
Little
can't.
girl's gonna the little girl's gonna break
you
a
let me
nail
finish?
trying to act like a Ninja Turtle.
All right. Good night. Anyways, yeah. So he's for the Messiah. I am, of course, the only one that matters on this podcast because I'm the only one that people come to watch. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good.
So,
Thank
Messiah,
you again.
Go ahead and take
Thanks
us
for
out.
having me. Y'all have a good one.
You too. Have
You
a great day. And we'll see everybody tomorrow night.